and and we are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is going to be all right. We daily go get them tonight, 7:00. All right, how y'all feeling, man? Are you gonna beatbox with me? As long as you be on beat. This is what we do when we come through. I hope y'all understand what we doing for you. Yo, the two they've been together for a while. We gotta switch it up, run it back, switch our style. But we ain't going to switch it to nothing back. Going to talk about the things that we used to have and the things that we getting today. Everything is going to be all right. It's okay. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. This is the Daily Go Get a Business Show. We do this every single day, 7 p.m. Till around 8-ish. This is my man Earth. He coming on through. Once again, dynamic duo. Tonight on the Daily Go Get a Business Show on this Hump Day Wednesday, we are talking about we ain't getting no younger, but is it a man thing? We ain't getting no younger. Is it a man thing? Now, the reason that I called it, or that we call it, we ain't getting no younger, but is it a man thing, is because, by the time that a man starts to get around 29, 30, everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but if he's not living his life in a progressive way, openly to a lot of people's satisfaction, they start telling them, like, you ain't getting no younger.
You're a loser.
Huh?
You're a loser.
Yeah. So, there's certain things that a man is supposed to have achieved.
They're already established by that.
Right. And what are those? What are some of those things?
Like your education done.
Ooh.
You already starting to work and build your wealth or whatever, and your stash, and your wardrobe should be okay. I guess you're supposed to have some sort of nice car.
You can't be having your pants hanging down.
No.
Getting too old for that.
And like you should have enough for some leisure, like take some broads out, and stuff like that. And
well, speaking of broads, or speaking of women, that's a big part of it, because it's often women who tell men that they ain't getting no younger and that they need to step their game up.
Always telling us what they think what a man is. First of all, you never knew what a man is. They be like, you ain't no man. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times you heard that? How many times they tell you what a man is?
Well, I didn't hear a whole lot of indictments against manhood until social media. Social media really got the ball rolling about what a real man is, what manhood is, and all. And in some ways, it was positive, because
I think you avoid the barbershop too much.
Well, the thing is, like I said, everything has a balance. So you're not going to find all good on one side. You're not going to find all bad on one side. Or as we would say, nobody is good and bad at the same time. You either good or you bad, right? Okay. So like I said, some of it was positive, because you do have men out here that are sort of playing around, but they're not just playing around on women. They're playing around with a lot of things. Like, you're either making a positive example in your community, or you're taking away from the community and setting a negative example. And you can do that in a variety of ways, sometimes on purpose and sometimes without even trying. For example, like, all right, if we talking about we ain't getting no younger. Now, if we all know the detriments and the pitfalls and the dangers of drug selling, right, for example. Now, I've never sold drugs. No. You've never sold drugs.
Scarface though, so.
Huh?
But you saw Scarface, so.
Right.
And Nino Brown and all of them niggas.
Well, growing up as a teenager in the 80s, we got a really healthy dose of
Ethan Butler, nigga.
Yo, we got a really, really.
Yo, when we went down to Badlands by accident? Shit.
Remember when we went down there on purpose?
We was looking for some weed.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That's where we got it. You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
That's where they had that designer green.
But wait, they ain't wait for you to get out the car. They was like, "What you need, homeboy?"
Exactly.
I'm saying, where the fuck you just come from?
Yeah.
The crack of the earth.
They had a regiment.
Whole army. Mm-hmm. intel, you know what I mean, that you had to get through.
Yeah.
You had to get to and through the neighborhood.
That's right.
So the reason why you was there had to be something.
Yeah.
So by the time you got down there, remember how slow everything was? Like you was on South Street?
Well, here's the thing. If you even as far as the police were concerned, if you were in that neighborhood not buying drugs,
right,
you were getting stopped anyway.
Yeah, like,
it was like they don't do nothing.
Why would
like nobody just lives down
no.
there. Yeah, like you got to be so. But my point is, we know that there are only really two ways out of the drug game, which are either going to jail or getting killed. And unfortunately, it really is. There really are only two ways out of it. The more money you make, the greater the likelihood that you're gonna run into the feds, or even or have to commit a violent act where drugs will be on you, and so you'll serve state time, or if you were trafficking, then that's fed time, or somebody was going to catch you out there, rival crews, gangs, and things like that, and you wind up getting killed. Either to have your money taken, your product taken, or over some disrespect. So when we think about men not getting any younger, if you see a man over 30 years old, over 35 years old, 40 years old, still selling drugs as his primary form of income, more than likely by that time he has multiple children. So if he gets locked up, he's going to be a liability for his family. If he gets killed, he's going to be, he's going to leave his family, without any guidance, without any leadership, without him being there to take care of them. So it makes sense in a lot of ways that the whole "we ain't getting no younger" argument exists.
Right.
The thing is, it just why does and correct me if I'm wrong, because we opening up the floor for this.
Okay.
Why does it seem like the whole "we ain't getting no younger" argument seem to apply to men?
Because men die off sooner than women, statistically.
Okay.
So we don't live as long. So I guess that's what it is. Plus, we always have to be the sacrificial people. Like the women and children first. Fuck my life. I provide for everyone. I fuck anybody. For you.
You know what? I like the way you put that.
You didn't think about it like that though?
I didn't.
Right.
Because you're right. Our life expectancy is shorter.
We're not There's
no
the
way around
sex that matters. We do matter because we'll die for you. But other than that, they're only using why. We're there to provide for them, supposedly. Mm-hmm. In the grand scheme of the family and how things should work out, where the economics is this, that, and the third, and you got a picket fence. You provided this, that, and the third for the family. You always sacrifice. It was nothing off your brain because your income came through your wits and everything. Mm-hmm. But still, you founded this. You raised the family. Then you raised them to go out to their college. Then you took care of mom. She stayed there. She had all the protection and all that. That's your job. But they get to chill and stuff like so. I don't know that their life is like easier and like nicer.
Well, all right. So if you flip it to the reality of today's situation, with there being so many single moms heading households.
You don't mess with single moms?
But with so many single moms heading households, you would think that the "we ain't getting no younger" would apply to them more. Yeah. Because we've gotten so many of our youth have and our community have gotten so used to not having men be there in the home or available at all.
Yeah, statistically, we had a worse.
If anything happens to the mom, it's a wrap.
It's because black homes are run by women, so statistically, I think
it's an undeniable fact.
It's more than like 60%.
It's an undeniable fact. Even when we had, of course, we had. Okay, the rule used to be that the men was the head of the household.
Yeah, right.
Now that's really the exception to the rule,
right?
So that shows you a lot of changes.
You got to be Jill Jenkins out this joint.
Well. The bottom line is when we start talking about the fact that we ain't getting no younger. Like I said, the woman not being there to be in total access to her family and her loved ones. And even the community as a whole is a big hit for us. Now, Now there are plenty of people who are not going to like how I'm saying that because it sounds like I'm making the woman the focal point. No. But we have to deal with the reality of the situation. Right. Most people who are going to say that was raised by a single mother themselves. Right. So we ain't gotta like it. Right. I don't like it. Right. I don't like it. But if we're talking about the fact that we ain't getting no younger, we have to take that into consideration. So how and why does it seem like it's more of a man thing? And maybe there are plenty of people who don't agree that it's a man thing.
Because it's easy to punch down on us. We're not going to bitch with so much. We're not going to the media like, oh, leave us alone. Not, not the heterosexual ones. They'll complain about it. Like, the women, you can get them, but sometimes you don't want to, you got to punch up, man. They just want to be the easy road sometimes. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's easy to fuck over us a little bit sometimes. So, excuse me, sometimes they use us as a scapegoat.
Well, what do you say about the men?
And that's all a part of feminism and that feminizing of our country in Western civilization. That's part of that too. But go ahead.
What do you say about the men who blame the black woman for everything that's wrong in the black community?
You shouldn't do that, and I can't tell niggas what to do. Mm-hmm. But I mean, listen.
Well, what do you think about their argument? Because their argument is they're turning our young boys into little gay boys, and they turning our young girls into little dykes.
The statistics prove that right. So you're not lying about that. It's just a nasty, sober reality of what happens when single moms lead the community. The community be a little fucked up. Okay. You know what I mean? Ain't no more community watch and all that shit. Like the kids is mad disrespectful. You just talked about, and it's also statistically, kids of single moms, they fuck up in jail a lot more than like other kids in jail, and just they have more mental problems supposedly. So you wanted to talk about that, and that's not misogyny, y'all. Those are just stats, and it's just 2 + 2 is 4. It's not. It has nothing to do with an emotion. It's all logic. So what he's talking about is not something that he thought about, but something that he read about, and he's interested in it, and he just want to bust it up on that. Now, what's the contrast?
Well, no, wait a minute. Actually,
oh, okay.
No, this is real experience. Because
why not? You've been here for how old are you now, son?
52.
52.
And just for another month. Yeah. All right, but I look at it from this standpoint. If we're going to say, like something you said caught my attention. You said that the sons of single moms they be messing up in jail and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, how did they make it to jail in the first place? Now, some of it has to be the decisions that they made growing up, and not getting the guidance that they probably should have gotten in the beginning. Right. So, but every time I hear about a single mother situation, I always ask, where's the dad?
Right.
Now, in some situations, the dad is unavailable. In some situations, the dad might be locked up himself. Mm-hmm. In some situations, the dad may be taking care of another family. Mm-hmm. In some way, in too many situations, he's not available. He's not there. Gotcha. You know what I mean? So we don't have access to even ask the dad what his opinion is and stuff like that. Gotcha. It's to the point where when I see like a case in the news or like a youth has been slain on the streets and stuff like that, and I see his dad, I see the dad make a comment on the news, and I'm like,
yeah, they listen to him.
No, the fact that he is available to make a comment in the first place.
He was allowed to talk.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's usually saying things like, he was a good kid, and he
to his mom. Yeah. His mom knew everything.
I'm just saying. So all right. I don't want to sway too far away and go on that argument. And it's definitely not my intention to do the male versus female thing, because it for our community, it just doesn't serve us in any kind of way. It doesn't. Yeah,
you're right.
All right. So, but
the gender wars the question too much. Like,
right.
We good.
Right. But the question stands to ask: how is it that a man who is 35 and a woman who is 35 are somehow not getting older at the same rate?
Because we're not.
Okay.
Now.
So what I want to do is I want to talk about some of the things that do apply to men. Okay. Some things that stunt our growth,
right?
That stagnate us, and some things that we probably are on our way to that we might need help with to get a little farther. But I also want to talk about some of the things that we're not thinking about that exist today that shows that we both like that show that neither one of us are getting any younger, and we both need to make some changes.
Okay.
Now I want to start off with this. So because we already gonna get the whole men thing, I want to get started on this whole women thing.
Okay.
All right. Now I think
sisters, you know,
just like women will tell a man quickly, you know, you need to settle down. You know what I mean? You running around with this one.
You 35 years old.
Look, you making babies over here.
Yeah.
You doing this, and you know what I mean. You what they say? You gonna get to the point where you get old and you ain't got nobody.
You
and nobody gonna take care. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff, right?
Marrying Omar and shit like.
Well, from my side, I look at a lot of women and I'm saying, I think, you know, we ain't getting no younger, but you still have the same expectations as a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old as you had when you was like 24. Like, so you don't see like this is how the game go. Right. You still waiting for Santa Claus to bring you to eat your cookies, drink your milk, and leave you presents?
Trying to game in your ear.
Well, I'm saying we ain't getting no younger. At some point, you have.
They don't want to hear you rebuttal back.
And I'm not rebuttable. I'm starting off.
You telling
so
them
they're gonna have to rebuttal.
All that truth is too much for them. What are you telling them? They hit the wall and like your looks aren't the same. You wrinkling up a little bit.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? That what ain't the same?
It looks.
Oh, well, it seems to me with all of this, 50 where? 42 where?
Black don't crack.
I'm like there under that makeup, under the weave. You know what I mean? Without the BBL.
Wait a minute. They're not taking the makeup off. What are you talking about?
Yo, we ain't getting no younger.
Now you talking about beautiful women naturally. Uh-huh. Now you talked about weave. That's hair, nigga. And what else you say? Veneers, false teeth, and fake butt.
Look. Right? Okay. If women want to call weave hair and they want to wear weave, okay, it is what it is.
It is her.
But all of this blonde, super platinum blonde stuff.
Yeah.
Green.
It's a bit much.
You know what I mean? Matching your hair with your belt. Your pocketbook.
Man.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah, that's a bit much.
So if we saying we ain't getting no younger, ain't we a little too old to be? You know what I mean? Little Kim was switching up them wigs in '96.
So what are you trying to say, son? I don't get it. Like
I'm asking the question. We ain't getting no younger. The question is it a man thing?
Women be getting older than us or something like?
I'm just saying. Because
I see dudes our age and older, and they still look good. Now you said you're 52, right? I'm 54. Mm-hmm. I don't think we look like that, and we're supposed to be old heads. So, you know, I don't think we look bad. But when we see our contemporaries that we went to school with, especially the ones that were hot initially, they're not the same. They wrinkled up. It's weird. Like, how you get that wrinkle? Like, what happened? Too much alcohol or not? I thought I smoked too much, but good God, your face.
What the hell you got in that bag? What you got in that bag?
I told you I seen my classmate the other day, man. I was so happy to see her. She looked so good, and like, of course, I knew her name, you know, and like she didn't remember mine, but when I told her, she was like, "Oh shit, the boy, you look the same except you got a beard now." And we were just remarking about how bad the people looked that we went to Wagner with. Anyway.
Life takes its toll on cats.
Yeah, so I made the point is that
listen,
the women
do they look
worse.
bad? Do they look bad because they didn't buy life insurance, or because they didn't buy a house?
It's because they didn't get their BBL until like 52. Like,
listen, I can excuse anybody for their physical.
Tammy Faye Baker used to wear a lot of makeup, but
white women kind of have to.
She was like more of a clown, like
very much. As a matter of fact, you know what? I never really thought about this. All these chicks with their long eyelashes, they might have got it from Tammy Faye Baker.
Why not? Like
she was doing that a long time ago.
But so was Patti LaBelle and them too. Like,
I don't remember
the Supremes and them, wasn't they?
the long eyelash. I don't know. Tammy
I
Faye
know
Baker
Diana
really
Ross
stood
was a
out.
little phony. She didn't look all that good. Like
She don't.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Look,
She had lashes and
little
wigs and shit. Like
she like
yeah. But that's what performers used to wear.
Yeah.
It wasn't for the public woman for you to have a wig on, like you in disguise and shit. Yeah. What is this? Get Smart? You got a wig, a fucking lashes on. You shaved your mustache. We don't know you no more. Like your beard is gone. Who told you to shave your beard, bitch? And then, like you put makeup on. I can't know who you are anymore. You got a scarf around your joint. You look like Inspector Gadget.
Hold on.
Coming out the house like.
Let me see. Like some things going on in the chat. Let me.
It's Lauren.
First of all, let me shout out my peoples. What's going on? Carol Chamberlain, Stacy White, T. Carey Wright, Mia Cunningham, Carol Chamberlain,
and the Cunninghams.
My brother Ansel Jones, and Emily Dunlap was in the house.
Mr. Get It On Jones. He's the one
my brother from another mother, Norris Hill. Let me see.
So he's the brother from another mother.
Let me see.
We shot him out because he's a thrill.
Ansel Jones says, "We ain't getting no younger. Ain't attention grabbing. Oh, attention grabbing. Looking for
so what y'all want to talk about?
All right.
How come females don't know how to wash their coochie like they used to? That's what you want to talk about, eh? Or do you want to talk about other relationship topics? And why don't you call in since we
can't call it. We can't call it.
We'll just write something that understand, and we'll banter back with you, back and forth.
All right, something either you said or I said is under fire. The word easy. Did you say that women have it easy, or they take the easy way out, or whatever?
I might have.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, what's the point? What's the problem?
Okay, no, I'm just saying. That's what you got to understand. Like we're not in sync with the chat, so we got to go back and try to figure out what.
Yeah, that sparked a little convo right
there. Yeah. All right, so let me see.
Work it up, like
T. Carey Wright says the type of guidance that a man can show him. Where's the pappy in all of this? Okay, we went over that. And Carol says that's a generalization, not always true, y'all. Okay, I see what you're. Of course, none of the things that we're talking about is going to apply to everybody.
Yeah,
it's going to apply to the people that we've seen, the experiences that we've had. Some of y'all have had similar experience. Some of y'all have had totally different experience. But by no means are we saying all do this and none do that. You know what I mean? But when I say we ain't getting no younger, when we talk about the title of the show, when we say we ain't getting no younger, is it a man thing? Now, just because some of y'all may not have ever said that to a man in the context of what we're talking about, it doesn't mean that it hasn't been said. You know what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is, if a man and a woman are in the same generation, born around the same time, they're getting older at the same rate. Now, are they getting older at the same rate mentally and emotionally? Maybe so, maybe not. Are they say women mature more than men? Yeah. Does that mean that there aren't any immature women?
No, they just think that they're not.
Now, I think that over the years, especially in this generation, when you look at the social media example, and by no means is that the only relevant example, but it's the most visible example for sure. It's the example that you can take the biggest test sample from. But are women still maturing faster than men these days? Like, what's your opinion on that? I'm interested to know.
I think that was the traditional, like.
I think it used to be true.
It used to be true.
I think it used to be true.
I think that they fell back a little bit.
Listen, and maybe the word maturity is different now than it used to be. But maturity used to mean being conscious of the decisions that you make, of being conscious of the things that you say, being conscious of the impact that you make on people, and really most people think that you are mature when you don't talk a lot, and you seem to understand a lot. Right. That was normally the grading system of maturity.
Cool enough to hang around the OAs because he shut the fuck up.
Because he shut up. He listened more than he talked. Now Especially with social media, we hear a whole lot of talking. Ain't no, we don't see.
They all talk. They social media. They talk about everything. They snitching on everybody, and they too feminized, huh?
Well, the thing is, on social media, everybody is right. Yeah. Nobody asks questions that they don't know. They only ask questions that they figure they already know the answer to. Yeah, nobody's asking questions that they really don't know. Nobody's willing to learn. No. They're trying to sneak in a way to teach a lesson, or to teach something.
Algorithm of news in their head. They want their own algorithm. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're not giving them that, it's like you speaking the truth to the young lady earlier. You talked about that. They ain't trying to hear that.
Well, like I said, we all have different experiences, but I have noticed that it's often women who are telling men that they're not getting no younger and that they need to change their ways and they need to grow up and they need to stop doing.
Because you are the man and a man, so you are in that position to hear it, and you're not wrong, right? I'm a 1 too, so we have similar experiences, and women have always been telling men how they think they. Well, I guess if you don't act in there according to what they want you to do, then you're not a man, because they'll say a real man would have, did what my ex did, lick my ass or whatever. It has nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, and then you a real man after that, and then, you know what I'm saying. So it's really just what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Like if you're abusive, it's because you didn't say what they want you to say, or whatever, So it's on the strength of that.
Okay. So all right. Now, for me, growth is when your expectations meet your reality.
All right.
For me, that's what growth is.
Okay.
I'm not saying that applies to everybody, but for me, it's when your expectations meet your reality.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they are somehow parallel, congruent, or at least in some type of agreement. But it does. I don't see a whole lot of growth in that department. The expectations that I see placed on men by women and by men onto women, it just doesn't seem very real to me.
I got you.
So with social media, there's so much of the gang mentality. There's so little individual thinking. You know what I mean? To the point where even if you just reply to a post, whatever, and you don't say what everybody else says, then it's like, oh, it's just a post, or it ain't that deep and all that. I'm like,
what happened to you? Like,
so when we talk about expectations, so we thinking like, I be thinking like, so let me get this straight. You put your thoughts out there,
right,
just for everybody to co-sign and agree with that thought, and anybody who agrees differently and expresses that.
How was they raised? You right, Jimmy. You're good. Everyone wins, and you know what I'm saying? Like coddle.
So in their houses, their mom always bought them the cereal that they wanted to eat
all the time.
So you never had to eat the cornflakes because there wasn't no frost.
If you didn't want to, hell no.
You was always down to eat.
Throw a fit.
Listen, man. And as trivial as that seems, it's the real thing.
If you didn't get
my mom never
consistently
bought us the exact cereal that we wanted to eat.
Who does that? Imagine your mom doing that.
She could have.
Listen.
But she didn't for a reason.
Because it's retarded. And you will grow up an asshole for nothing. Why would you do that? It don't make no sense. Y'all eat. You think like these motherfuckers eat anything? I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's sugary. Shut the fuck up and eat these Captain Crunch. And you learn how many cereals you like. At least y'all got the variety of sugar cereal. We had no frills and tasty O's.
Like I said, we never consistently had. Me and my sisters were in agreement on exactly the cereal that we wanted to. That's right. But somehow it never, ever consistently.
You would be assholes today. all because you got the cereal that you wanted all the time.
So
You
so
never played together.
so if it never played out that way in your home, and it never played out in my home, and none of my friends' home, none of my cousins, none of my other brothers.
Why is it happening now?
No. How is it that we didn't learn from that lesson that things ain't always gonna go your way, even if they could? Even though somebody could have made that possible to you. It wasn't a money thing. No. It wasn't an excessive. It wasn't like, oh, yo, I went to Pantry Pride. Right. They ain't had no fruit. They ain't had no Fruit Loops.
They was just they was trying to tell you that you're not supposed to get what you want all the time.
Exactly.
That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with money.
So where did the mentality that I'm supposed to get what I want come from?
Now you're talking. Because
and we ain't getting no younger.
Everybody became an individual, remember? Because now you play with Atari by yourself. You ain't got no friends. That's why you play with Atari. That's all you can do.
Okay.
It's no friends, and you can't go outside. It's dangerous. You need a play date.
Okay.
Your friend is weird. You don't even like him, but your parents get y'all together, and he probably molest you. Like some shit happened. You know what I'm talking about. Then you go to church, and you weird, so you get molested, the choir boy, and you just, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they so individual and they're raised like little pods. They got to keep them safe. They got helmets and seat. We never had no seat belts and helmets and shit when we rode bikes and knee pads and we drunk out the spigot.
Well, let me ask. I have some simpler questions.
All right, go ahead, man.
All right. So for the people who don't seem to understand that things don't always go your way, I ask them simple questions like, are you working where you always wanted to work?
Yeah.
Are you working at your dream job?
Yeah, that's all of us.
Are you making the kind of money that you always wanted to make?
It's only like
are you making your dream salary?
It's only the niggas, the crazy niggas that bust their ass all day and is billionaires that kind of like it because they have it. But
we don't even have access to ask them that.
No,
because billionaires put a gun to their head and end it all just like poor people do. As a matter of fact, and pretty much a high rate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because considering their test sample,
sure.
You know what I mean, or their sample size. So if you started off not being able to get the cereal that you wanted to eat all the time, and you probably didn't get the grades in school that you either worked for or at least wanted to get, and then you probably didn't even go if you went to college after high school, you may have had to have settled for a school that you didn't really want to go to rather than the other school that you always wanted to go to. Then while you were there, you probably had to maneuver in ways that were unfavorable to you in order to get a degree or do something else in your life.
Yeah.
Now if you work, you're probably not making the kind of money that you really want to make. No. Even if you're making very good money. In your mind, you're probably thinking like, yeah, all right, I make $250,000, but I want to be making $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when all of these things are prevalent in your life, what makes you think that, oh, hold on, something even simpler. Have you ever ordered something online or paid for something in the store, and when you got back, it didn't work the way that you thought it was going to work, or you saw it advertised on TV or heard it on the radio, and it didn't work exactly the way that's what you paid for. You paid your money. You're supposed to have total control over what you pay for, but it doesn't always work that way, right? All right. So with examples showing you at each turn and each place in your life that things don't always go the way that you want them to go, whether you want them really bad, pray for them really hard, pay for a lot for them, or anything else. But you still hold on to the expectations that your man needs to be the way that you want him to be. Not just your man, but all men need to be that example. And at the same time, somebody is probably coming at you for the way that you raise or the way that you teach or the way that you show or you tutor or you rear or that you display. So so when we start talking about we ain't getting no younger, is it a man thing? Of course, I don't think that it should be all put on men, and maybe it's not, but there comes a time when we all have to take a look in the mirror. And just like we didn't get that cereal that we wanted all the time, and when we look in the mirror, we don't always see what we want to see. You know what I mean? We don't always see what we want to see. Mm-hmm. So some people avoid the mirror altogether. I know people who don't got no mirrors in their houses. I mean, literally don't have none. Like,
I got mirrors. Sometimes I don't look up. Sometimes I don't.
I'm just saying.
I know not to. I'll be like, oh God, you look like you stink. Like, after the 3 nights of not sleeping, I know not to look in the mirror. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the fucked uppest look, man.
Oh, my girl Kim's Wims is in there.
Yo, Kim's Wims, where my sisters at? Where Lori and Nita and all y'all? Where y'all at? And
Kim's Wims is it?
Get your man's likes up first of all. Turn up his likes and subscribe to, you know what I mean, the show, because it's doper than what it should be. And really, it's not because I'm here. I'm just like the icing on top of
well, listen, just like anybody who listens to the show or looks at the show,
football over here.
Everybody's input is relevant, and there's no diminished importance. The thing is, we're talking about perspective. So of course we're going to be talking speaking from the perspective of those who agree and those who disagree. You know what I mean? But this is how you learn. You know, you don't always learn from the successes that you have. Sometimes you got to fail, take a class again, you know, do a grade over again and get it right. The important thing is that you learn the material, not necessarily what others will grade you on. So I don't want to get that twisted. But by no means do I expect everyone and anyone to totally agree with my views, your views, or anybody else's. But we opening it up to have the conversation. And I know this conversation needs to be had. There are a lot of men who need to grow up. They need to take care of themselves. Okay. Like I'm very big on men, black men in particular, having one job. Black men have one motherfucking job in this world, to their families, to their children, to their wives, to the community. They gotta stay the fuck out of jail. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you do it, but you can't do shit for your family or your community or your people or your race behind bars, because you are liability. That means we have to answer your calls. You call collect, so you're taking money from the family. We have to take our kids up to see you, and they're exposed to that bullshit. You know what I mean? The justice system prematurely, either encouraging them to let them know that it ain't that bad because daddy is in there, or scaring the shit out of them and giving them an extra thing to worry about, when they should be concentrating on more positive things and more progressive ways to be able to elevate themselves. Not only that, but you can't raise your children in jail. You can't check their homework. You can't protect them. You can't make sure that the house is safe and secure. You can't make sure that your children aren't being abused. You can't even make sure that the mother of your children are treating your children in a good way. You can't make sure that she's not exposing them to niggas who don't give a shit, like Snoop Dogg was in Baby Boy. You're not there. So black man, I don't want to hear shit that you have to say about any black woman raising her kids by herself if you can't stay your ass out of jail. Now, there are plenty of things and plenty of ways that anybody, man or woman, black, white, or whatever, can do to end up in jail unjustifiably. There are plenty of people doing longer sentences than they should be for the crimes that they've done, and there are plenty of people who have been convicted for crimes that they didn't commit. You know what I mean? So I'm not excusing that.
No, you preaching good.
My thing is, you gotta find a way to not be a part of that.
Speak on it.
You know what I mean? Everything can't be mistaken identity. You know what I mean?
You the common denominator, whatever they say.
Listen, if you in jail for not snitching, you didn't do your job. because your job was to make sure you're not in a position to even have to stand trial, or not in the position to have to be a witness. You know what I'm saying? So black men, you gotta stay out of jail.
Miss you with that one?
Huh?
Miss you with that one?
Yeah, you can say that. But I mean, but that's how I feel. Now and that's not a slight to my brothers that are locked up. But come on, man. You know what I mean? There are too many of us. There are too many of us. Black men comprise, or should I say, make up 41% of the prison population. 41%.
But what is our population overall?
Exactly. And they say that by the census, we're only about 12, somewhere between 12 and 13% of the population. So 41% of us are making up the prison population, but we're only 12 to 14% of the general population. I know that there are more than that percentage of us in the United States. However, you can't blame this whole thing on the census.
I mean, keep running it down your stats.
Because the census in the jails is right. That's how many of us it is. You know what I'm saying?
This is mere logic. It's not emotional.
Right.
You know,
So
just cut through. Like,
right. So we really have to handle our business in that regard.
Right.
So if you're not there,
I don't think most people won't disagree with that.
Okay. So
especially because people love to direct men anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll direct each other, but the women do try all the time. So
all right. Now, even though this is not my experience, a lot of men complain about this. Since we're talking about we ain't getting no younger,
right.
A lot of men complain that women don't want a good man. They don't want a good man. They want a thug. Yeah. They want a bad boy and blah 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 blah. So now I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, because I ain't gonna lie. I have never lost a girlfriend to a drug dealer or a thug or none of that. I ain't never done it. I come from an era where if you had a fresh cut, you could dance and you dress nice. People actually said you had money. He got a pair of Gazelles on. He got money.
He got like 10.
He got a pair of top 10s on. He got more money than everybody who had to wear shells. Like y'all, I couldn't get the top 10. I couldn't get the top 10s. You know,
because it was at the top.
Come on, son. Yo, only certain niggas
because it was like $100.
Only certain niggas wore top 10s.
I wasn't worried.
Listen, my Philly peoples, y'all know what I'm talking about. Your mom might have got you some shell top Adidas
or some Gucci sneaks.
But if she went the extra mile to pay that $50 for some top 10, and then when the patent leather Johns came out and they added on another $10, $15, yo man. But anyway, we come from that era, so I don't know what it's like to lose a woman to the streets, so to speak, or to somebody who's in that street life.
Every aspect of whatever.
But nowadays you hear a lot of men complain about that.
Yeah, how about
you know, like she don't want no good dude. But women complain the other way.
Yeah.
They say, you know, y'all don't want no woman that'll hold you down, that'll cook for you, that'll blah 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 blah. Y'all want some stripper joint. Y'all want some.
You got out here. That's it.
Yeah.
It ain't no like good females like. You know what I'm saying? That have, and I mean character women, not too high, but high character enough. We have some morals. Some women are so immoral, but I mean, they don't cook anymore. They're not taught to cater to another person, let alone a man. They're not taught wifely duties. They're not taught that marriage is important. They're not taught that children are important. They're not nurturers of children anymore. They're not. They're more masculine, or try to be more masculine than us. So that in order to be with them, you have to raise yours up so high to smack them down, just to get them to comply. And they don't like the regular man, like you said. Now they move the goalposts. Oh, where the good men at? Now he's corny. Like if he's just a good man, you got to scheme and scam a little bit of, get some side entrepreneurial hustle, whether it's illegal or legal, and dudes are like, okay, whatever. The dating market is run by women, and that's fine. And you throwing it off the rails. That's why there's no chivalry. But I mean, listen, we go forward with what we have to do as people in relationships. I mean, it's fucked up now out here. It's no more romance. There's no more lingerie stores. There's no more bridal stores. The jewelry stores are closing down. You know, men are proposing because it's no marriageable women, and men aren't raised to be the same as we used to be. So this generation, they don't think about that.
But on all right, I started out asking you the question about the women who say that no, I'm sorry, but about the men who say that women don't want a good dude, they want a thug. You agree with that?
Because they're not raised to like. First of all, we just swag at. That's the first thing you need.
Mm-hmm.
If you got no swag, you can't step to him, and you better be 6'2". Statistically, that's stupid because most men are 5'9". You know what I'm saying? The statistics on that is like men over 6 feet is only like 13% of the world, and somebody like me is only like 10%. But whatever, like you know what I'm saying? Like only the basketball niggas is like 1%.
Mm-hmm.
So most men are not 6 feet, but they say they want that. Most men are not. The average man is 5'9". He's 168 pounds. The average man. The average woman is 100, and a black woman is 190 pounds.
Really?
Yes, she is 5'3".
190
she's
pounds?
more than us statistically. So you're bigger than your contemporary as a woman, and that's bad because now I can't even save you. Like, what if I want to drag you out of the building? Like, you can't, and that's not feminine either. That's the problem. But our women are fat, man. We're fat, but the women eat a lot, yo. I mean, women eat like.
Yo, you leave them by themselves, they be getting it in.
Women eat like food is going out of style. And they will pay anything for whatever, man. And then eat the food that you pay for too, and bring it home for their kids. But I'm saying they eat a lot, and all the bad shit. They had all the crab legs every week, and just then you don't wash your ass right.
Okay,
all right, man, go ahead.
But I don't know. I for some reason I don't agree with the whole women don't want nothing but a thug thing because
all the church jones want that. Yeah,
I would say this. Because I don't see the future in all of this thuggery. Well, now maybe these young girls out here, maybe they want to experience, dude being all out there acting a fool and all that kind of stuff. But I know when I was coming up, any dude with a really decent job, you know what I mean? Like if you had a welding job back in the day, you was getting banked.
You was winning.
You could compete with the dope boys easily. They had a car. Yeah. You had a car. That's all the fuck you know what I mean? The thing is, they couldn't leave the block. Right. You could. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna tell me that it's not like that now because with so many women, Black women are the most educated women out of any race right now.
They're the most enrolled.
Yeah.
They don't graduate as
no. They're
the most enrolled.
No, they are the most educated. Period. Okay. Yeah, they got it. Right, they got it. And as many of them who complain that they're still treated unequally in the workforce, they getting money. They getting money.
No doubt.
I know as a personal example, I ain't been with a bum. You know what I'm saying? I haven't. I don't know about other niggas, but I ain't been with a bum. I ain't been with no joint that don't make no good money. Most of them have made more than me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
yeah. What way you get?
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, it might not be this way for everybody because I've been in enough homes to know that it's enough chicks out here on welfare working the system and all of that, and just getting their hustle on. But I know for a fact that women want a dude that has a steady income because you can't raise your children and guide your children on money that's not guaranteed to be there.
We know
because one thing, the birthdays come on the same date every year, and so do the holidays. So you know what I mean. You can be random as you want, but all of this thuggery and all of that. Listen, who want their crib shot up? Anybody who has had their crib shot up and was good with it, please let me know. or anybody who's
Ladies.
down to have they crib shot up,
Ladies,
or down to have, not even shot. How about this? Has anybody who's watching this show ever had y'all crib raided?
ladies, tell Omar how y'all hate to be bored. Women hate to be bored. And so you gotta be exciting. So all that excitement that fuels the juices.
Take them ziplining.
Yeah. Well, no, he had a gun. You know what I'm saying? He fired it.
Take them kayaking.
He'll fight for me.
Take them kayaking. They can't swim.
He'll fight for me.
They fight these waves
until you beat her uncle ass at the family reunion for touching her ass wrong. You like, I ain't know who that nigga was, and they like, stop, LaFonzio, like, you know what I'm saying? Now your toxicity is toxic, but before that, he'll fight for me. Like, you defend this and that, and you rough, like, you exciting because you kick ass and all the toxic shit they like. You ain't no nice guy. You're disagreeable. You know what? Don't step to you wrong. Why? Because your line of temperance is right there. Nobody knows it, but everybody steps over it wrong, and then you blame them immediately and kick everybody's ass, and it's always their fault. But you excite her, like you got her panties wet because you out here fighting. You don't give a fuck, and you rough, and they like that. Man.
All that. Listen,
you a drug addict that she could rehab you.
Listen, like I said,
you an alcoholic.
Take a zip lining. Take a kayaking. You gotta be creative. There are way more ways to create excitement than putting you in physical danger. I know this one thing. I don't know nobody who is down to get their crib raided or shot up. I ain't never heard nobody say, "Yo, remember the time they shot up the crib, man? Yo, that was crazy."
You know, it's some crazy bitches out here like that.
I know. I ain't never heard nothing like that.
I was excited by that.
Scared
some Bonnie and Clyde motherfuckers.
Yeah, all right.
There's plenty of them out here.
I don't know.
Whether
I don't
they
know
got mental issues or not. That's another thing.
It.
But yeah, they just don't hang around you.
I'm just listen.
Imagine that.
I've known people who got their crib shot up.
Yeah, but
and raided.
You ain't run into the right.
They didn't like it. They didn't like it.
Imagine liking that shit.
That's my whole point.
What's your point?
So that's what comes along with when we talk about this. When I hear men talk about how women like thugs and bad boys and all of that, they don't want a good dude. I'm not trying to hear that. And we gotta start, itemizing and auditing exactly what this whole good thing means. What a good dude. Because I hear a lot of niggas labeling themselves as good dudes, and I hear a lot of women out here labeling themselves as good women. I'm like, yeah. Let me tell you good.
The good
all
dude,
you know what I mean?
The first thing the good dude do is he pay all the bills. Now build on that.
Well, okay. So if he pays all the bills, but he cheat on you all the time, and he call you fat and stupid and lazy,
he might still be good.
The bills paid,
depending on how fucked up the woman is. He might still be a good dude, but for most yours, he in the middle. You know, he typical. So because we all fucked up somewhere.
Well, questions have come on.
He do pay my bills.
Listen, I know dudes who pay all the bills.
I know you do,
but they all cheat.
And what?
And none of their women are happy.
So
but he paid. The bills paid. And the shopping money.
And she better shut the fuck up. When I come through. My plate better be ready too.
So like my whole thing is, people are labeling themselves as good men or good women. Yeah. And a lot of the dudes that I hear labeling themselves as good men, they really suckers.
Yeah, some of them are.
A lot of them.
And a lot of women, just because your perception of good is what you have and what you are. You're not.
No, I don't even think I'm all that good.
I don't say you are.
You know what I mean?
But there's other people that are different than you. They have different perceptions. They see things differently. And an abusive person is abusive to you, not to everybody.
Right. Okay.
So some dude that's rusty is okay for some Jones because they so fucked up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. And never had they never was like nobody's girl or nothing. Like, so they take what they can get. Now that's that person.
All I'm saying is,
now you talking about the average black female who you might run across in the demographics of 25 to 55, and how they move and shape as an urban woman, suburban woman, what you've encountered either professionally or outside of that? Preach on it.
All I know is that nobody is all that to everybody.
No, it can't.
So,
you can't be.
So okay, so just
No
like when
man
you
is
see,
good or bad.
nobody is all that to everybody. So when I hear a man complaining that these chicks they don't want a good dude like me. They want a thug or whatever. I'm like, maybe you should stop concentrating on what the women that you're not even after want,
right?
And concentrate on the ones that
you don't want.
Concentrate on the ones that you want,
just like
and what they want.
She want the bad boy. He want the not bad girl. He just wanted to be a little freaky. He got a little preference, but nowadays men can't get the. We never could get our first choice, but we gotta get like our fifth choice now. Like these broads are a little bit bigger than us. We don't have the same choice, so he desperate, man. He gonna do some things to get the coochie at the while.
Well, all I'm saying is just like with the women who say that men don't want no decent chicks. They only want these stripper chicks and all.
12 o'clock midnight, and then it's like, all right, fuck it.
But I don't think it's true at all.
No,
it's too much generalizing.
Okay, they would like to bone them, but that's not who they want to be with. That's not who they want to wife up.
Okay,
but they don't understand the difference because attention is attention to them.
So men don't
like your shit.
So men don't know the difference, and women don't.
No, women don't know the difference between attention that we give them. We give them sexual attention, and husband attention is different. But they take it all as the same thing. Like they could parlay all of them to relationships, and they can't because some of us just want to fuck you because that's all you good for. Man. And we see the other of us have no choice but to see you as like a marriage zone because we desperate and we at that phase of our lives. But you understand what I'm saying? It depends on the person seeking that shit.
All right. 803. We about to get on up out of here, y'all. We about to do these birthday shout outs. Listen,
Lori ain't never come through.
No, Lori came through.
Oh, okay.
Lori came through. She asked some interesting questions too, because she asked, have any of the women in here ever dated anybody who was in jail or whatever? Because if you've ever dated a dude who just came home, who did a lot of time, you know what I mean? You'll get an interesting perspective.
Yo, they be bugging. Dudes be like, niggas don't respect me out here. They always fighting when they come home. Like, you can't never respect them enough.
Well, it depends on the experience that they had in jail. Not every man gets raped in jail. Not every man has to fight in jail. No. I'm saying this is going to determine how they are when they come home.
Son.
But most men make a lot of promises while they in jail.
Yeah.
So if you was waiting for a dude to come home, and when he came home, you know what I'm saying? Like, this might be a little different than when he was talking and the way he was acting when he got home, when he didn't have access. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So now, like before he didn't have access. Now he home. He got access.
When I was in the hospital, I was like, I love all y'all. But now that I'm out, I don't even like no more. He wouldn't like answer my calls when I was in the hospital. I did call him a lot. I was very needy. Like
this man ain't called me in 10 years as much as he called me in 10 days. You know what I mean? I had to get used to some things. You know what I mean? I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him. But you know what I'm saying? It's all good. But see, he holding a grudge from a whole week ago. You know what I mean? It's old shit.
I was alone.
It's old shit. You know what I'm saying? We can't go back to last week. I was young. I was immature. I didn't know a lot. I was a baby last week.
Solitary time. But
last week I was still on the titty.
Real quick, y'all. I'm busting out with a new pair again. They call them Pumas. Every day is new sneaker day. I'm matching this shit.
This dude is new. He ain't never show off his
sneakers.
Swim trunks. The whole 30 years I know that he ain't never show off.
Because I ain't never had as many pairs.
Yo, you want to race?
No, like, yo, O's put me down. O used to have the flyest sneaks. He had 100 pairs like when nobody else had. When I had like 5, and he would have like be rotating. His sneakers look like the sneakers that Homer got when he got.
Yo, I still got.
You was ACG. Crazy. You was ACG. I know. You just.
Nah, man, but this is it.
Because you just a comfortable older dude. Like, you don't give a fuck about.
Nah, these work.
I know they still fly.
Reebok Classics, baby.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
He be rocking the old school.
Like,
he done bought like 10 pairs.
That's right.
And like 20 of the white.
That's right.
To keep the white Jones on.
I got 20 pairs of khakis. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's right, it's right.
Yeah. Niggas wear shit. Yo,
I'll be like, hold on. They not the same color khaki.
Right,
like these joints light.
Right.
These joints is light brown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
All right, we gotta do these birthday shout outs, yo.
All
right, let's do these birthday shout outs. We got some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were
that.
born on this glorious July 12th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. Susie White, happy birthday to you. And my girl, going all the way back to the 1978. Man, Dina Brown, Brown turning 53 years old today. Met her when we was in third grade. And also Hazel Fowler turning 59 years old today. And Frida Morgan turning 60 years old today. And Tamara Desmond turning 28 years old today. I think that's a false age, but it's all good. Chris Everett turning 38 years old today. And Bunny Armstead, happy birthday to you. And Teresa Rembert, happy birthday to you. And Jessica Lynn Chapman, turning 36 years old today. And Sonny Jackson and Anthony Green. And last but not least, my man Daymar Moore. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit.
All is.
And this goes out to each and every person born on this glorious July 12th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn, rock out, rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, listen, man, we ain't getting no older. Is it a man thing? Of course it's not. Men and women make up this world.
The conclusion?
No.
That's the conclusion?
No, because when you say inclusion,
means,
you got to bring
it's going to be part two?
When it's inclusion,
Okay,
then you got to put gay people in it. Conclusion?
Yeah, like
yeah.
This how you wrap it up?
I don't know.
Like, because at the end of the Fab album, there is always a lesson.
Jerry Springer. All right, the final word.
Brown.
But yeah, at the end of the day, there are all kinds of things. There are all kinds of cans that are open that we need to seal back. There are all types of things that we still have left on the table that we need to clear off. There are all kinds of things, all kinds of goals and aspirations that we have that we need to clear up. So all of this indicting each other about, what we're not doing and biological clocks coming into it or maturity clocks coming into it. All of this about, you should have this by now. You should know this by now and all of that. Yeah, sometimes it applies. Sometimes it doesn't apply. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you want to get it popping with somebody and you want them to listen to you, you're probably not going to get that done by telling them what they should have already. Right. So you're either going to help them get it or you're going to provide it for them right now.
Hating,
you know what I mean?
People have their own curve, and it's really not. Just because you have more than them don't mean you're happier. You're happier than them, or that your life is any richer. So you can learn something from people that.
What you have on the inside is what you really have. You can have all the material success that money can buy.
Your loot, son?
A lot of people do. The people who don't have the loot care about that, and they think that that's the. I mean, I'm not you, but a lot of people think that that's the way that happens. And unfortunately, because of our conditioning, that's what we are. That's what we are conditioned to think. Yeah. We think that as long as we get this money, we can fix everything.
They make it look like that.
I mean, we used to actually be a form of currency. You know what I mean?
I mean, come on.
So listen, man. I want to thank y'all all for coming through. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, appreciate y'all coming through. I I hope y'all enjoyed listening to the show as much as we enjoyed broadcasting it. We will be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. So make sure y'all come through.
I can't make it, y'all, but I'll be back.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Because if you tell them you ain't gonna be here, they might not come in. So y'all ain't hear this.
I ain't know
we're gonna keep between us.
Like that,
you know what I'm saying?
All the women that like me, I'll be back now for real. Because I need a girlfriend. I need a girlfriend.
Yeah, you need it right now. Jesus, a fool. All right, y'all. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. Peace, y'all.